Hi, it's Jane, and today on Healthier You, we're going to kind of talk about this is not something new within the diabetes world, but they're really promoting what's called the diabetes plate. And as you know, my diabetes has gotten out of whack, and we're not real sure why. Medications that were working before aren't working now. The diet plan that I've been following, exercise plan, is kaput. Not really working well, so we're on a process of trying to find that out. So, first of all, let's get to the medical disclaimer. Always check with your physician before starting any exercise or dietary program. Information here is my personal research into different health topics and is not to be considered medical advice. And one of the reasons that I was kind of going to touch on this is the physician had asked me if I would be willing to see a nutritionist. I said, not a problem. Wanted to know if I would mind signing up for the diabetes education classes. I said, not a problem. I haven't been involved with diabetes education since probably 2010, maybe 11. Not a bad idea to revisit it. Maybe I've gotten lax on what I'm doing, with my meal plan. But the other thing is, I have a young lady that I am friends with and I attend a Bible study with, and she is diabetic, and she is complaining about how she is starving to death. Her doctors told her she can only have 20 carbs per meal. She has to eat salads all the time, and her son is nicknamed the salad of despair and doom, because it seems like it's always the same thing. So we're going to discuss a little bit about the diabetes plate, what it is, how it can help you, and I'm also going to talk about an excellent resource where you can find a lot of recipes, a lot of ideas, tips, tricks, those kind of things at. And as I was saying, hopefully YouTube will not take down the links. Sometimes if it's not a government website, when it comes to health, eating, those kind of things, they take down the link. They won't allow it to be broadcast, or they will take down your video. So hopefully this will get through. It is a well-known organization that deals with diabetes, but we'll see. I may just have to put it up as a link on the community page for this channel, or even probably will do that with all the different links that I've found. But first off, let's talk about what is the diabetes plate. And this is basically what the diabetes plate is. It's where you take your plate and you divide it into 3 sections. The one section is non-starchy vegetables. You have over here carbohydrate foods. That will be starchy foods, fruits, those kind of things, cakes if you're going to have that. And then, of course, your protein food here could be beans, could be cheese, could be a combination of beans and cheese, could be fish, could be beef, chicken, whatever. And then, of course, they suggest that you have a 0-calorie drink. They suggest water, which, we need. We're always dehydrated, so more water wouldn't be a bad thing. And if you're on diabetic meds, water is probably one of the best drinks for you to have. Now, with medications for diabetes, one of the side effects is increased hunger. And that is always a norm with any diabetic med that you are on. So just be aware of that, understand that, and build that in, and learn some tips and tricks of how you can help balance that out. the other thing with your diabetes is you need to determine and this is something you would do with a nutritionist and a diabetic educator. Is your main goal simply to control your blood sugars? Or is your main goal not only to control your blood sugars, but also to help in weight loss? Those are two different little bit of an animal, so and both of those educators would be helpful with that. All right, the diabetes plate is considered one of the easiest ways to create healthy low-carb meals that can help you manage your blood sugar levels. So if you use that, you can create meals with a healthy balance of vegetables, protein, and carbs without any counting, calculating, weighing, or measuring. All you need is a plate. To start out, you need a plate that is 9 inches across. Not these big, huge plates that we have. In fact, I see a lot of people, when they see a 9-inch plate, they consider that a salad plate. So yeah, you need a 9-inch plate. Keep that in mind. The size of your plate is what helps control the portion size. Okay? If your dinner plates are larger than 9 inches, you're going to have to figure out either how to change it, whatnot. It also tells you that if your dinner plates are larger than 9 inches, which most of them are about 11 to 12 and a half inches, then you should use a smaller salad or dessert plate for your meals. Or if your dinner plate has a lip or artwork along the edge, use that as your border for filling your plate if the area inside of that border is 9 inches across. Now that you have the right plate, it's time to fill it up. Fill half of your plate with non-starchy vegetables. These are lower in carbs, so they don't raise your blood sugars. They are also higher in fiber, vitamins, and minerals. And some of those examples would be asparagus, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, bok choy, carrots, cauliflower, celery, cucumber, eggplant, jicama, leafy greens, all kinds, including plain lettuce, kale, collards, mustard greens, Swiss chard, mushrooms, nopales, which is cactus. If you've never had it, it's delicious. Okra, onions, leeks, green beans, pea pods, snow peas, and sugar snap peas. These are different than English peas. Keep that in mind. Bell peppers, hot peppers, jalapeno, poblano, others, all kinds of things. And your salad greens, of course, include spinach, arugula, endive, and other salad mixes. Squash, like zucchini, yellow. And I never know how to pronounce this. It's chayote, coyote, and or spaghetti squash. You know, spaghetti squash is a great thing to use in place of pasta many times. Tomatoes and tomatillos. Then you want to fill just 1/4 of your plate with lean proteins like fish, chicken, lean beef, soy foods, cheese. These are all considered protein foods. Some of the other things that are considered proteins are beans. But you have to be careful because beans cross over to that carbohydrate. So yes, you can do it, but you're going to have a much smaller portion of that. You know, anything kind of salmon, cod, tuna, tilapia, shrimp, scallops, clams, mussels, lobster, you know, lean beef cuts, lean pork cuts, lean deli meats, cheese and cottage cheese, and of course plant-based sources of protein would be beans, lentils, hummus, and falafel. I'm sure I mispronounced that. Nuts and nut butters, edamame, tofu, and tempeh. 1/4 of your plate is for your carbohydrate foods. And these are the ones that are higher in carbs. And you want to make sure you would hopefully include higher whole grains in it, starchy vegetables, beans and legumes, fruit, yogurt, and milk. These foods have the biggest effect on your blood sugar levels. Really does. Limiting this portion can also help keep your blood glucose from rising too high after meals. Some examples of carbohydrate foods are brown rice, bulgur, oats, oatmeal, polenta, popcorn, quinoa, whole grain products such as bread, pasta, and tortillas. Starchy vegetables like corn, acorn squash, butternut squash, green peas, parsnips, plantains, potatoes, pumpkins, and sweet potatoes. Beans and legumes such as kidney, black beans, pinto, garbanzo beans, and lentils, fruits and dried fruits, dairy products like milk, yogurt, and milk substitutes. And they tell you to consider drinking a 0-calorie liquid with your meal, such as unsweetened tea, hot or iced, unsweetened coffee, hot or iced, sparkling water, club soda, infused water or sparkling water without added sugar, diet soda, or other diet drinks. And sometimes there are meals that don't always fit into those things, like soups, casseroles, sandwiches, pizza, pasta. You can use this to also help not only prep your meals, but also create your meals. You can use pizza to build a meal using it. They generally suggest using a thin or vegetable-based crust to reduce the portion of the carbs. Top it with a lot of vegetables instead of meat, or choose a very lean meat. Stick to 1 or 2 slices and serve with a side salad, so half your meal is non-starchy vegetable. And we've seen a lot of times now, even Walmart carries cauliflower pizza, I don't want to say dough, but a pizza base that you could use. I have always used just a very thin pizza crust, and that has been fine for me. I showed you with the Dollar Tree in the past where I used a very thin crust. You get 2 thin crusts in that. That is perfect for a meal for me, and generally what I will do, I will use one of those. One of those is 150 calories. On that, I will add my tomato sauce or my pizza sauce, whatever I've chosen to put on there. Don't always use tomato sauce. Sometimes I just put veggies straight on there, and with a little bit of cheese and maybe some meat to top it off. It is perfectly fine to include that every now and then. Just be careful with it. And of course, the big thing is, like they said, add a big salad to the side or some non-starchy vegetables. Now, there are a lot of places that can help you with this, with meal planning, but I will tell you one of the best resources has always been the American Diabetes Association website. This website provides you everything you need to learn about how to choose your meals. They provide recipes, they provide tips, tricks, snacks, you name it. There's everything under the sun in this. They also have a place where what they call is a diabetes food hub that will help you start saving recipes and allow you to use their meal planner, plugging in the foods that you want and using their meal planner to give you an idea of some meals that you can use for yourself. Now, some of the other places that I found a lot of information, and I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a hint with the diabetes. I'm having a problem with my mouse. My mouse is not being responsive. So let me get her back up. Not real sure what's going on there. Anyway, but they will give you ideas on how to manage meals, from everything to going out, holiday tips, tricks. Yes, you can still have a piece of cake. You just have to watch your portion control. You know, nowadays a lot of places, a lot of weddings and things like that, they are doing, a lot of people are using cupcakes as main serving. But they also give you other ideas for adding exercise, some different types of things you need to look for as you're going through your journey with this. But I also found another website, of course, eatingwell.com. They do have an article where they put in diabetes meal plan for beginners, and it gives you an idea of a meal plan that could help you. So pull together, use all these resources, but the main thing that I would follow with is to follow up with your doctor. If you've never had diabetes education, ask for that. Ask for an appointment with a nutrition to go over these kinds of things. Generally, your health care providers will pay for these because it benefits them, not having to pay out such high cost. The side effects of diabetes can be devastating. Not only loss of finger sensations, a lot of neuropathy and pain, eyesight issues, stroke, cardiac issues, you name it. But getting yourself in with a good educator can help you avoid many of those things. So yeah, that is it for this video. I do hope that if you are struggling with diabetes, that you would look into one of these resources, especially the American Diabetes Association, because you can also go there and find a diabetic educator. And most doctors, I'm going to be honest with you, do not understand nutrition as well as they want you to think that they do. We'll just leave that there. That is not their main focus, although it probably should be, because we'd be a whole lot healthier if it was on that. But it is what it is, right, folks? All right, that is it for today. Hope you enjoyed this, and I hope everybody has a great week. Remember, education isn't something you should be afraid of. And also, do something kind today. I'll see you again soon. Bye.